you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Okay, well, welcome to the launch, Mother's Day launch of Old Folks Cooking
Yes,
at the intersection of food, drink, and culture.
yes.
And I'm delighted, Jesse, that you can join us and pay tribute to your mother and her influence on your cooking.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your mom.
Oh wow. My mother is an amazing woman. She loved to cook, and I just used to watch her as a young kid. She actually, you know, got wrote a letter to for a sleeping job up here in New Jersey, and got it. And then when she came up here, that sleeping job didn't work out, and she ended up getting into food, and she started working at Chock full of Nuts, and just worked at various places, and then I started working cooking with her, and watching her. She didn't like to be called a chef, but she just was amazing.
Well, that was chocolate. It's funny you should mention chock full of nuts, but that was back in the day
Yes.
when young black men and women, as Jacques Pepin noticed, there wasn't any white folks around in any of those kitchens.
That's right.
They were the young black people like your mother staffed those kitchens,
Yes.
created good food,
Yeah.
real food, because they were cooking. They weren't opening cans.
Yeah, and it was such a task for her because she would be in the middle, and it was like a circle of people. And just as a kid, remember that setup. I was like, wow. So she got that little roller uh, ticket thing that's going around, and
Right.
she just had a great memory. Probably the best short of the cook I ever met because I tried to duplicate her and I never could remember. And people love that. Like she can remember 20 orders and she would just know what people want and people to this day, likes that. Like, she said, Millie, you got me? She said, yeah, I got you. And I tried, like I said, she took a vacation one day and that's when I got a little older and I was helping on the grill and she took a vacation and she said, you gonna handle it? I said, yeah. And I tried to do that and people were mad at me and I was messing up their orders. And and then I
Well,
just, you know, and,
had to do it.
yeah,
Okay, they had to,
you
and
can't.
that is the
Yeah,
real testament to that generation that I'm so keen that we learn from, and so that we don't lose those real recipes and tastes that they imparted to our generation.
yes,
It's critical that we remember that, and her working at Chock full of Nuts is mega.
yes.
That really is mega. So
That was
uh,
really, yeah, it was like really huge. And then, and just like I said, and then watching her, it made me realize too, especially as being a cook and working at all various restaurants, like me and you as instance, we can do the same recipe, right? And
yes,
we both probably would do it different, and the reason why we'll do it different is it's our passion, it's how we feel. Because
yeah,
I may feel great about it, and you may feel like let me just get
get
this.
through it.
Let me just get it done, and I'd be like, no, I want to put a little twist. So I realized, my mother came to the table with her passion, with her love. If it didn't make her plate, it wasn't gonna get on your plate.
Yeah, now that is something I also learned from my father. I he never considered himself a chef.
Right,
And my mother was when she passed, she was a working chef,
right, okay,
and
wow,
neither of them considered themselves chefs,
right.
even though my mother was running a kitchen um, almost on her own with one or two helpers, but she was essentially running everything on her own.
You're right.
So
And
um,
that's that chef.
that is what people just don't realize today. When you have 10 or 12 people in the kitchen,
Right.
like no, and a lot of times the kitchens were as big as a closet.
Hmm.
Okay, there weren't these massive kitchens with 5 ovens and you know 3 or 4 stoves.
Yes.
No,
And that's a
no.
handicap too. That's a handicap because some can't do it without this state of the art equipment. Like, yo, just you give me some firewood. I can cook. I was like, Give me a
I
quick.
hear it's a good thing you say that because when I was on Beat Bobby Flay,
Yeah.
they literally, I was definitely out of my league because all of the younger chefs just like making caramel and say, "Oh, put that paint on the stove and make a caramel."
Right.
No, they got to have 5 blow torches and had all of these gadgets and shit. I was like, "What the hell is this shit?"
That's
Put
right.
the pan on the stove, put some sugar in it, and make a caramel.
Right.
No, they were like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, okay, okay. I literally learned a lesson to stay my old ass out of competition with young chefs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is
No,
a
I understand. It's another. It's a like I'm around a lot of young chefs and they're sous vide. They're doing all kind of thing and I love it. And they always ask me, and I say, "There's only one thing, there's chef." And because you can call me Jesse or you can call me chef. When a lot of horrible things came out of me working under French chefs and other chefs telling me, you're not a chef, and why do you put chef in your name when you're not a chef? But then I tell them, I go, wow, you got all this great things going on, but where's the taste? Like, what is, where, it looks great, but I mean, don't nobody taste anymore?
it
Oh, no, no.
tastes like dog food.
Gotta
Okay.
look like, okay, no, I'm from Taste Land,
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a big one on taste, and I remember being a judge at the French Culinary Institute back
Mhm.
when it was on Fifth Avenue.
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
And that was when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Right.
But it was, I mean, the one student, it was one plate was so salty,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
couldn't even eat it. And
Right.
I said to the student, I said, "Did you taste this?" He said, "No, I followed the recipe. I followed the recipe." And I was just like,
Yeah.
this is not
It tastes nothing.
how you do. You've got to taste everything.
Yes.
You got to make sure that the taste is there. And following a recipe is one thing, but if you don't taste it, how do you know how it tastes?
Yes.
It looked fine, it looked beautiful, but it tasted like Brian.
Yeah, it tastes like nothing. It's like, yeah, it looks great, but
It
you know,
was over salt. Salt is not an ingredient; it's a flavoring. Okay,
that's right.
it is it is not meant to be a vegetable or a protein.
You're right.
And so much is being lost with these new generations. I was in I wasn't a judge. I was just an invited guest at an event with young black chefs in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And I was sitting at the bar because they had sold out. And I was sitting next to a guy and we were talking about the food. And one of the servings was corn pudding.
Okay.
And so we got a shot glass of murky something. And the chef got up and talked about her grandmother's corn pudding and how it was fluffy and wonderful and delightful. And then she said, "My version of corn pudding is being served now," and was a shot glass of slop.
Okay.
And I didn't know that was his girlfriend until until I said, "Oh my gosh, she should be shot." Wonderful story, but why didn't you just serve the real thing?
Right. Right.
The real thing your grandmother taught you to make instead of just some slop.
Mm-hmm. You said that
So
girlfriend. Oh Lord.
she literally came up and right after that to say hello. And he said, "Oh," he hugged her and everything. And she said, "Oh, well, Chef Ashbell, how'd you like it?" I said, "Well, it was interesting."
I never liked
And,
that. And
and
I
when she and
what?
when she walked away, he said, "Thank you for not telling her how you really feel."
That's right. Right. Yeah, because so a lot of people can't handle it.
Yeah, and I just thought this is not the time or place. But I did see her afterward, and I did tell her that that was not what she should have been serving. She should have been honoring her grandmother
Mhm.
and serving that authentic taste that she described it down to the T. So I know that she knew how to make it.
Right. Right. Wow.
And and I'm definitely, you know, pleasantly surprised to hear that your mother was a chef at a restaurant like that.
Hmm.
One of those really groundbreaking, and people went there chock full of nuts because they could depend on the food. They could
Yes.
depend on the flavor.
Yeah, oh no,
And
absolutely. Just the whole thing about it and how things are, um, uh, today, just how they just mock things like chocolate nuts. You got,
yeah,
it got, because you got from the donuts, almost like what's the Waffle House, versions of the chocolate nuts, and then now you got the Waffle Houses.
yeah.
You got this,
Well,
yeah,
one at 3 a.m. Waffle House is not bad.
yeah. No, I mean, for that image for what they took from
Yeah.
the old days, like chocolate nuts.
Oh yeah, that is very, very true. And I gotta tell you, I've had better meals at a Waffle House at 3 a.m. than I've had at big 4-star restaurants.
Right,
I'm just saying. It was just I couldn't wait to get to the Waffle House.
right,
Because it
right,
was something dependable and it had its taste.
right.
So it is I am I'm glad you could join us for this Mother's Day edition of Old Folks Cooking, and I look forward to you coming back and sharing a lot more stories. And I salute you on your career, chef.
Thank you,
You've been
Chef. For the
you've
recipe.
been a leader and a leader in helping young chefs come into the business.
Yes.
And there's so many chefs that just selfishly just keep moving, but you always reach your hand back to bring other young people on board. And I really respect you for that. So
Oh, thank you so much.
congratulations, Chef.
Thank,
And
thank,
thank you so much for
oh,
joining us. Okay.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.